A parallelogram is what times what? Base, yes, just base times height there, not over 2. So it's like a rectangle, it's base times height, and that word height always creates a right angle. Whenever you see the word height, it automatically means there's a right angle there. Okay, a rhombus and a kite, can you draw on the diagonals, please? Because a rhombus and a kite actually have the same equation, and that's because they have a right angle in the middle. Y'all ready? I'll take a volunteer for that one. Who knows rhombus and or kite? Yes, Jessica. Yes, you just multiply the diagonals and you cut it in half. Diagonal times diagonal over 2. That's for both of them. Diagonal times diagonal over 2. You multiply the diagonals. That only works if there's right angles. Okay, let's do rectangle together. Rectangle, what times what? Out loud? Length times width, or base times height, which is the same thing in this case. Length times width. Okay, an area of a square altogether is just the side what? Side squared. Okay, I'll take a volunteer for trapezoid. Yes, Anusha. Okay, base plus base over 2 times the height. In other words, we average the bases. You average the bases times the height. Okay, these must be memorized to get out of my classroom today. Keep that in mind. Don't be surprised. Okay. That's side squared. Shall I change colors for you? Better? Side squared? Okay. Now, I'd like you to take 30 seconds and attempt to memorize this. 30 seconds, attempt to memorize this. Parallelogram is what, sir? So we go area equals, we trace the base, and times the height makes a right angle. So here, if we're on a coordinate grid, there's 2 ways to find that distance. The first way is you can always use the distance equation, right? You don't have it, but are we straight horizontal here? Are we horizontal here? So we don't even have to use the distance equation. We can just bunny hop it. We're going to go from -2 to +4. So 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the distance out loud? Okay, so our base is 6. Our height is completely vertical, and that's from -3 to -6, so you just bunny hop it. Out loud, what's your height? 3, and it's not negative, guys, even though we're in the coordinate. Distance is never negative. Okay, so it's just 6 times 3, 18. Warning, if you don't have units, just use the generic unit squared. But always be in the habit of acknowledging units. If you're not given units, use U or the word units. Okay. Area of a trapezoid. Haley is what, ma'am? You are correcting. That's fine. We'll come back to you. Paul, what'd you get?
Base 1 plus base 2 over 2.
Yep, base plus the other base over 2 times the height. Okay, I'm going to freeze this up. I'd like you to find that, no calculator. Go. You find that, no calculator. All right, ask your neighbor what they got. See if you guys got the same thing. All right, guys, look up here. Don't freak out just because it's a decimal, guys. That's 8.5 times 5. You just work on it longhand. You end up with 42.5. 17 divided by 2 is 8.5. Okay, let me walk you guys through it. 6 plus 11 is 17. Divided by 2. 17 divided by 2 is 8.5. And then I times by 5. And so I go 8.5 times 5, that's 25, carry the 2. 8 times 5 is 40, so you add the 2, it's 42.5. All right, you guys, ready? Write the equation for what this is. See if you can't do that one on your own. The 5 is the height. Mm-hmm. What's that? Yes, ma'am? Mm-hmm. Okay, when you're done, ask a neighbor what they got. All right, guys, take a look. You just, again, you don't, if this was at a slant, you would use the distance equation, but because it's a straight vertical and horizontal, you just bunny hop it. Yes, ma'am. Why do you just randomly between the X and the Y? Because I am using diagonal, this diagonal, and is from -1 to +5, that's 6 units. Yes, and I do diagonal. Diagonal means corner to corner. Okay? Alrighty. Now, before we move on, I have a quick challenge for you here. This is your bedroom. Hang on. Nope, that's not your bedroom. This is, yeah, that's not your bedroom. Alrighty. Now, listen. You may use a calculator. And can you turn on the lights for us, Bree? Let me stop my little timer here. Alrighty, guys. Ready? Let's get over a couple things first. First, let's talk about dimensions. Dimensions. Perimeter goes like this. Just walk it around like so. Walk it around with a little arrow. Arrow tells me that you're going around. I'm on the next page, guys. Perimeter is only length, so it's only one dimension. I can unstring perimeter into length. So we use single units, meters, feet, inches, and the like. Now I'd like you to shade the area. With the show of fingers, 1, 2, or 3, how many dimensions is area? 2 dimensions. Therefore, we use squared units for area. All right. Now, these are the conversion factors you guys are used to. For example, 1 yard, so if this is 1 yard, out loud, how many feet? 3 feet. Now I'm going to write something, a clarification. I'm using the term linear foot. Why do I say linear? Linear means first dimension, length only. If you go to Orchard Supply and you say, I want 10 feet of whatever, they will clarify. Is that 10 linear feet or is that 10 square feet? So the correct terminology, if you're in a contracting situation, linear foot means first dimension, length only. Got it? It's what you guys recognize as a foot, 12 inches. Ready? 1 meter, how many centimeters? Out loud? Centi, guys, out loud, all together? Out loud, all together? Thank you. Because I had 5 people ask me that last week for the test. Centi means 100. So, right, 1 meter equals 100 centimeters in the first dimension, which is just length. Kilo is what prefix? Okay, that's 1,000, so 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. Next to one dimension, just write the word length. These are one dimension conversions. These are the ones you're familiar with. But this is where you got ripped off. Those of you who said 400, watch very carefully. Here is a square yard. That means it's a yard. Trace it. Physically trace it, please. A square yard means a yard that makes a square. You guys good with that? A square yard is a yard that makes a square. Got it? Okay, so we're 3 feet this way. Bunny hop it. We're 3 feet this way. How many square feet? Your conversion. So the area of a square yard is feet, is 1 square yard is 9 square feet. It is not a 1 to 3, it's a 1 to 9. Watch this, guys. In the first dimension, yards to feet is a 1 to 3 ratio. Catch that? In the second dimension, it's a 1 to 9 ratio. Look at what we did to the 3. What did we do to the 3? We squared it. I'd like you to put 3 squared, and then I'd like you to circle this 2 and draw an arrow to that exponent. When you change dimensions, you change conversions. That's very critical. When you change dimensions, you change conversions. Repeat after me. When you change dimensions, you change conversions. Say it with me, please. When you change dimensions, you change conversions. So in that carpet example, guys, and you got, what was it, 120 feet squared, in order to figure out yards, you had to divide by 9. 9. So you got, and it was like $133. So those of you at 400, you got ripped off by over almost $200, 200 plus. Okay. Now on that note, I'd like you and your teammates to walk through these conversion factors. Go. You and your teammates walk through these second dimension conversion factors. Go. You guys almost done? Talk about it. Ask one. Ask Jack why they're wrong. Okay. All of those are wrong. Ask your teammates. No, they're all wrong. No, I do it. Square of 12. Alrighty, guys. Check your work up here, and I'd like you to talk about why you are either correct or incorrect, and talk about it as a team. If you don't understand this, guys, you can get ripped off royally by a contractor, because look at these conversion rates. Okay, 1 meter squared is 10,000 centimeters squared. So if you use the conversion rate of 1 to 100, you just got 9,000 difference. Okay, look at those conversion rates. How many got those right? Thumbs up. Got them right? Okay, didn't get them right? Figure out why. Okay? All right, you two, I need you to join a team of 3, please. So that, wait a minute. Yeah, so one of you go here, one of you go there.
All 3.